Iburu, Iboya, Ibucheche, everybody in Cyberland. So this one goes out to James Maldonado. Okay, James Maldonado. He asked me, he said, hey, can you give me a little bit of information on how do you get incorporated into this faith? How do you get into this faith? And that's a great question, right? So there's multiple areas that I recommend people do when they talk about coming into this faith. One is who's going to bring you into the faith. I've made several videos on what's a godfather, right, or a godparent, and what is no kidding, what is a godchild, right? Because in essence, there's rules to these things, and in order to be effective, and in order to walk a path, you got to understand those roles and responsibilities. Okay. For example, initiation begins in two forms. One, you can receive your collares, right, which is a collar ceremony that is given to you by a santero or a santera, all right, somebody who's been crowned a divinity. Okay, that's one. The second part is you receiving your warriors. You receiving your warriors. Typically, there's two portions of that. I'm going to tell you the Ifa. I'm a Bawalao. I'm not a Santero or a Santera. We give warriors, which consists of Ogun or Chosi inside of a black pot. And then you have your Ishuelewa, right? That's mounted by a Bawalao. There's secrets to the Ishuelewa. That's why Ishuelewa is a cement head, and there's things that go inside of it. Then you have Osun, right? You got the metal rooster. And then you have your Mano de Orula, which is another ceremony separate from your warriors. But in times, you receive them at the same time. They get fed at the same time. Not exactly the same time. Those ceremonies are partitioned, but they're remotely around the same time. So that's what Bawalaos kind of work with. With your Mano de Orula, when Orula is getting fed, right, there's going to be a day of rest, which typically is going to be when you receive your rogacion. And then there's going to be a third day, which is going to be when you receive your ita, when you receive the signs that the Bawalao pulls in order to understand your spiritual journey, understand who you are, and understand that when you came from Olorun and you came down, you told Olodumare, hey, when I go down to earth, I want to have 5 kids, I want to be rich, I want to do this, that, and the other. The problem is when you fell so hard. And the journey was so long from Olorun, all right, from the feet of God down to the earth, that finally, at that point in time, you forgot it all. And now you have to gain what that needs to look like again. All right, so 2 ceremonies, right? You got the Kolal ceremony, and then you have the warrior ceremony. Okay, those are the 2 ways to get into faith. And typically, with a Bawalao, you should accompany your warrior ceremony with your Mano de Orula, which for guys is Awofaka, for females is Ikofa. That's how you begin to get into the faith. Then there's some fundamentals that are very important when we talk about the faith. When we talk about the faith, you're talking about espiritismo. Okay, you're talking about the spiritual side of the house. What is a bóveda? Okay, how do you look at the world in an angle of spirituality within our faith? Understanding that we believe in one God. Understanding that we believe in many divinities. We understand of the power of nature, because nature is what we believe in. We believe that everything is focused and everything could be harnessed depending on some of the milestones that you've reached throughout your spiritual journey. We also understand that we're all not the same. We're all cut from different cloths. We all are designed and walk a journey that's different, depending on our guardian, depending on our Odun. So those things all begin to morph to create what it is this faith is for you. No 2 people can be treated the same when it comes to this faith. You can learn the fundamentals. You can learn a moyumba. You can learn how to throw coco. You can learn how to set up a bóveda, an altar. You can learn how to say prayers. You could understand the colors and the attributes and the characteristics of certain orishas, ochas. You can learn a lot of different things, okay? And that is the foundation. That's how you get into the faith. But it all starts with you picking that good godfather, because that requires a lot of teaching. That requires a lot of learning. So, for James Maldonado, that's for you. You asked a question, but I think it's value added for more than just you. So I made the video out of it to make sure that everybody kind of sees and understands what our faith is about. So crossing over, going into our faith, remember, 2 starter ceremonies, warriors, collares. You're going to get warriors with a babalao, you might as well get your mano de orula or babalaos. Everything in life is sacrifice. In order for you to gain enlightenment, in order for you to move ahead, it's going to be sacrifices. In this day and age, I hate to tell you, but a lot of people, they're going to charge you probably a little extra money than what you probably expect, right? It's all based on the areas, it's all based on animals, it's all based on herbs, it's all based on the cargas that go inside your ishu and your osung. And there's a lot of different things and aspects that a lot of people don't understand. And that is something that you need to know going forward too. It's not that somebody's trying to stifle your spiritual growth. Is that unfortunately, I mean, if there was unlimited money and everybody allowed was given a pot full of money that just keeps growing so that we can keep helping and take care of the family, oh man, trust me, we would never charge you. It's not necessary. But in this day and age, you know, we're not living in Nigeria, you know, 1,000 years ago, where you went and you hunt and you got a rabbit, you traded a rabbit for this and that and the other. Animals were not as scarce, and we didn't live in a civilization as such. So, starter ceremonies, warriors, collares. Get your mano de orula while you're getting your warriors is important. It'll help you throughout your journey. Grab a godfather. Make sure before you do anything, look at my video on godfathers. Look at my videos on godchildren, because godchildren have responsibilities as well to the ile, to the godfather. So with that said, hopefully that helped answer some questions there. It's all about the beginning, all right? You build a house and you build a building, you build any type of structure. That foundation is what's going to set you up for success. If that foundation is already weak from the door, you pick the wrong godparent, you pick the wrong elite, personalities are not driven, you're not learning, that foundation is already rocky from the start, and you expect to build something beautiful, the foundation is important, guys. Please understand that. And with that said, Iburu, Iboya, Buche, Che, Cyberland. It's your favorite Bawala, at least I hope so. Hit me up, give me a like, give me a share, something. Got more comments, shoot me comments, I answer back. Okay? Iburu, Boya, Buche, Che.